What is going on, everybody? Ryan Leary here with William Tincup. You're already laughing at me. I don't know why, but you're laughing at me. What's
With you,
going on?
with you, not at you.
With you,
Always,
with me.
always with you.
Yeah, this is the BARF. This is the look at the week that was, so you could be prepared for the week that is. William, what's going on, brother?
It's been a fantastic weekend, Ryan.
Yeah?
Uh, we were empty nesters for the weekend.
Oh,
So Van was off doing something, Henry was off doing something, and Michael and I got to sit around and watch college football. So it was
question
fantastic.
is, did you talk to each other?
Periodically we would check in with each other, mostly around someone getting up to go to the kitchen.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
grab me a slice of pizza there.
that's usually the discussion. Hey, while you're up, if you could,
Yeah.
yeah, no, all right, cool.
Yeah, when we get those moments, we don't really talk. We're just kind of like,
Mm,
yeah, let's
no,
just not talk to each other.
no.
It's all good. But Eagles won today, so that,
Congratulations.
oh man, I feel like we need a cheering sound effect or something
Oh,
because
100%.
I never
100%.
know with these guys anymore. So somebody asked me, do we actually record the show on Sunday, or we just say, hey, it's a beautiful Sunday morning?
No,
No,
it's
we
Sunday.
record. The Eagles won. Now,
Yeah. And Cowboys haven't played, so I'm not completely disappointed yet.
we could be recording this on Friday and
Hmm.
just filming different beginnings.
100%. That
How
would
they
take a
never
lot of
know.
work. Not
That
sure
would.
that
I
we
feel like
would
I
do
need a
that.
newspaper to hold up.
Ryan, how many shows are we up to on Work to Find?
Oh, we are at 18,
Okay,
right? 18
18.
now?
Maybe by the end
18.
of maybe by the next week we'll be at 20.
We will be. We should be. If we're not, then we didn't do our job.
That's right.
This it's
That's
exciting
that is good.
because yeah, the network is expanding, which is awesome. And yeah, we got 18 shows. I mean, we don't have to run through all the shows now, but
Hmm.
we've got some really amazing hosts on here now. We've got a couple of really good hosts that
Yep.
we're really excited to have join us this week. So we will definitely make announcements and show some love
Yeah. At one point we'll tell people what we're doing.
at one point. At one point,
Eh, you
maybe.
know.
So all right, man, you want to kick us off and
All
get
right.
this thing started?
Let's do the B. That's the breaking news part. So let me tell you a story about Dell versus Spotify. Are you familiar with these two brands?
I am. Yes, I
Okay, good.
am. Yeah,
I,
I've
I,
heard of
we'd end the call if you weren't. No, I have no idea. What is a
them.
Dell?
Never,
Okay,
never. Yeah,
and we're out.
yeah.
So this is an RTO story, but in the same day I saw two stories that were
Okay.
complete polar opposites. So it made me, head spin, right? We've been talking about RTO for quite a while, but Dell's sudden 5-day return to office order leaves parents scrambling to find childcare. That was the headline. And that was on MSN. And okay, so just reading that, I'm like, what? So then you dig into it. At one point, they didn't have a full RTO, it was more flex. Now, now it is a full RTO strategy.
Huh.
5 days.
Okay.
Got to be there. And oh, by the way, that starts next week. So that
Yeah.
story. Okay, so okay, that's shocking. And I've got
That
people that
story brought to you by anxious parents who don't know what to do
oh,
now.
100%, 100%. What are we gonna do with the kids? I don't know. Good luck. So I read that story and I'm like, that impacts people that I know actually. So
Hmm.
I know people because it's in Round Rock, right above north of Austin. I know people that work there. Like I know people that work at Dell, and so um, that's going to impact some people that I know personally, and because I don't think that they'll stay, and I don't think they'll go back to the office. So I'm gonna we'll put a little sticky note on that. The next story, I mean, it's probably an hour later. The next story I read is Spotify's HR chief
Hmm.
says remote staff aren't children as company reaffirms work from anywhere
Oh,
policy.
nice. Yeah, I didn't know where that was going. Aren't children? I went,
They
yeah,
aren't children. In fact, in that
yeah,
article, which is on
yeah,
Fortune.com, in that article, they actually go and say, we trust our employees. Why
yeah.
are we talking about this? Like it was so matter of fact. It's like, why are we
Yeah.
already did this bit.
Why am I doing a
And
presser on this? Like, what's the
like,
point? Yeah.
yeah, but because, and this is from the HR chief, right? So you can kind of think of it as, okay, well, Spotify's from one of the Nordics, right? And
Hmm.
a lot of these RTO things are happening in the States. So you kind of say, is this U.S. versus Europe kind of the way you look at work? Is it command and control versus common sense, or letting your employees kind of do what they want? But what it got me to really think about is, as long as there's the Spotify's of the world,
Yeah.
our forced RTO is going to be harder, and it
Yeah.
actually makes them look ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like when I just tell you, okay, 5 days. If you let's say you're an engineer and you could work for
Hmm.
um, Dell or Spotify.
I'm
Okay,
going to
you're just a
Spotify anyway.
well, yeah, 100%, 100%. But you got 5 days you have to be in the office, or you could work from Lisbon.
Yeah.
As long as the work gets done, we don't care. You're not children.
Right.
So anyhow, I think reading those in the same day, I just like good God, whiplash
Yeah.
on both of them.
Well,
But
the Dell
again,
story came out, and then the PR firm for Spotify said, "Yo, get out there,
got you, got you, fam.
do your thing, do your thing." All right, I've got one. Vimeo.
Okay.
You've heard of Vimeo, right? Want to play that game? You heard of
I
Vimeo
always want to
before?
say, yeah, Vimeo, Vimeo.
I
How
just
do
say
you pronounce their
Vimeo.
name?
Like instead of video, it's Vimeo.
Oh,
Yeah? No?
okay.
That's how I
Yeah.
always called it. Anyway,
The
the
fact that
the
we're trying to discuss that and for
yeah, well
the way
there
to
you go.
start. Yeah.
There you go, right? So
We didn't do
first
that
off,
with Spotify.
yeah, they no, I know it was Spotify, something, right? No, Spotify.
Hmm.
Right? So all right, so Vimeo names a new CMO.
Hmm.
So we'll start there. So we'll come back to that.
That's
The
huge.
that is it's a big thing, right? So the the question here though is what is Vimeo? And that's the whole premise of this hire. What is Vimeo? So I don't think they've ever trusted any of their identities. They
Hmm.
tried to compete with YouTube.
Good
They
luck.
went into video sharing. They tried the shorts. They tried to do the funny videos like Vine. They did a whole bunch of stuff. Like they just went
Yeah.
the whole gamut. Okay. And
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
survived. So it's worked for them to get them to a point. But the market confusion on these guys is absurd. No one ever knows what we're in this space, right?
Yeah.
And we don't use Vimeo. We didn't even think about using Vimeo.
Huh. Doesn't come up.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense. So anyhow, they hired a new CMO, which which is good, right? So they've been in the space. They're coming into the work. That's the whole thing. They're coming into the workspace. But I want to read you a quote.
Hmm.
This was from the CMO. Vimeo is like your cool cousin who went to LA and is thriving, making movies or something, but you hadn't heard from her in a while. This is
Hmm.
the deal, right? So Vimeo, they've done their thing. They've built their audience. They got a
Yeah.
name. Just don't know what it is. Now it's time to change. Well, anyway, what they're doing is they're coming into the workspace. So they're focusing now on business video, hosting for businesses and corporates. I thought they were doing already. I didn't realize this is something
So
new.
it's
I
an
thought they've been
enterprise.
doing this.
It's an enterprise product.
Yeah, yeah. I thought they've been
Interesting.
doing this thing for forever. But anyway, so
Seeing
much
them
for
compete
Vimeo.
with seeing them compete with YouTube was painful to watch. That was actually
That
really,
lasted a
really, really going up against
uh,
them is like they're just gonna win.
eh,
All right, let me pitch this story to you. With college costs high, at least 8 states now offer tax credits or deductions for employees that contribute to work for employers that contribute to workers' 529 accounts. So let's think about that in a different way.
mm,
Your employer is now going to contribute, like to your 401k, now they'll contribute to your 529 account. And that is a deduction of your pay, but it also is a tax credit. So this is from the New York Times. So this is, to me, it's a great recruiting and retention benefit for those who have kids. Like if you're young in your career, you don't have kids, that's not a benefit. No one
right,
cares.
right,
But if you do have kids and you're thinking about your kids going to college, then it is a benefit. It would be a benefit that you'd use. Because
right.
again, just like with your 401k, you take money out, maybe they'd match, or each one of these states does a little bit different. But it's the 8 states that do it are Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Congratulations. Arkansas, Colorado, Idaho, Illinois, California, Nebraska, and Nevada. So kind of a random
Okay.
mix of states. So not all of an East Coast, not all South, like truly weird mix
Yeah.
of places. And they do it differently. So for the audience, they go about tax credits and deductions differently, but these are the 8 states that actually do it.
Right. Anything
So
that helps you get money and the employer's
529,
doing it.
baby.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I've never fully understood those, but I mean, whatever. I mean,
Well, it's
that's
tax. It's tax shelter.
it. Yes, exactly.
That's that's the big. I mean, you're
Yeah.
basically putting money aside for your
Education.
kids college,
Mhm.
right? And what's cool about it is if one person, like you have 3 daughters, if one daughter doesn't use it, it
You can
just
roll
moves
with
to
it
the
back.
next
Yeah.
2 daughter. Yeah, you can roll
Right.
over without any penalties.
Right. Right.
So
So oh, there you go.
there you go. Got speed
Real
aluminum.
quick, before I forgot to mention who the actual CMO was of Vimeo. I just said the CMO. So Charlie Ungenschik. I'm gonna get that wrong.
Ungashak?
Ungeshak. Yeah. So anyhow, the reason why this is important for us is he was the CMO, the previous CMO at WorkHuman.
Yeah,
And he's been around. He was at Applause. He was his advisor to Jim. So he's been around this space for a long time.
yeah, yeah.
He's bringing them into the learning area
Interesting.
of yeah. So I should probably have said that as I said it. I don't know why I
Well, yeah,
forgot.
yeah, but the big thing is they're doing an enterprise product. They're coming into the enterprise, and that's the important
Yeah.
thing because people think of them as a consumer brand
Right.
in
Right.
whatever way, whatever version that they think of. They think of them as a
Correct.
consumer brand. I know Charlie,
Yep.
and if it's the same guy I think of, he's in Chicago.
Let's see. Charlie is he is in well, it says Boston now, but he could have been in
Okay,
Chicago.
I'll,
So
I'll look I'll look that up.
yeah, we'll
Cool.
bring
All
we'll
right,
have
what
to
do you
get
got?
try to get Charlie on here. Okay. So talking of CMOs, I have another CMO hire. We should get like a
Okay.
hire bell, like a ding ding.
Ding.
Jody Kaminsky, who has been in this space for a very, very long time. She is the brains behind what was once Ultimate Software,
Mm-hmm.
which is obviously now UKG. So she has been in this space for a very, very long time. She is now going over to iSIMS. So she is now going to be the new CMO at iSIMS. And if you need any, and I think this is pretty significant for iSIMS. It's going to be a good hire for them. If you have any doubt of who this woman is and what she has done, just go to LinkedIn. Look at her profile. It is just off the chains. Her announcement's got, I think it's over 300 now. Is that like 270 something earlier?
Yep.
Of just her ability to not just grow a company, but lead people and support her teams and grow marketing within an organization. So I
Yeah.
think this is going to be a big win for iSIMS. I know they've
100%.
struggled at some points, and this is I think this is the hire that gets them to the next level.
Oh yeah. She's a professional marketer.
She
She's
is.
seen it all, done it all. Been through a huge merger, taken a company public. Like, okay, there's nothing
Yeah.
that's going to be daunting for her. I would stop saying long, long, long time.
That's a lot of experience.
Yeah. Well, let's
Hey,
just stay there.
let's
She's
stay
got
there.
great
Yeah,
experience. Let's not
yeah,
talk about how old she is.
yeah. Jody, I said nothing of the sorts. I didn't mention any of that. That's
What does long, 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 long time mean?
next story. Next story.
All right.
Congratulations, Jody.
Let me pitch you this story on Home Depot. So, from an internal memo from the Home Depot CEO, Ted Decker, starting in the fourth quarter, which would be now
Now,
of
yeah.
2024, all corporate employees, including senior management and remote workers, will be required to complete an 8-hour shift at one of their company's retail stores every quarter.
Well, so corporate employees
Corporate employees,
go into the store to see on the ground what's
no,
up.
they got to work.
Yeah, yeah.
They got to
But I
put
mean,
on an
like, yeah,
apron.
they're gonna learn what's
They're going
what's
to put
going
on an
on.
apron. So if you're a buyer for Home Depot and you're based in Atlanta, I think that's where their headquarters is, and you're a buyer for wood, whatever,
Hmm.
you don't know anything about retail.
Yeah.
Your job is to know buying
Right.
and how to buy wood, right? So what Ted, I mean, like I know the guy, what Ted's doing is basically saying we can't be so far away from retail that we don't understand what retail is. You got
Yeah,
to go work a shift. It doesn't matter if you're a cashier or you're just going to be on the floor.
just work it.
He actually doesn't care. You could get
Everybody
a
lives by
mop,
Home Depot.
go work at one of them. Check
Yeah.
in. You got a badge. Check in. Do your bit. Every quarter, do
There
an
is
8 hour shift.
nothing about this story that I hate.
I
Absolutely
know. I
nothing.
know. I know. I read
Although,
the. I kept reading it and going, now are they just going to kind of check in and then go to the break room?
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, they're gonna work. Let them because you know what? And let's use your wood story as an example.
Yeah.
Put those purchasing people or put somebody in the lumber department because
Oh,
the
yeah.
way they store their lumber is absolute shit. And you go to the store and you're spending $14 for a 2x4 that's like warped like a smile on your face. There are better ways to store this stuff. Like it's a pain. I'm glad
Yeah.
there's Lowe's and Home Depot next to each other all the time because I have to go back
Yeah.
and forth. It is so yes, put people in the lumber department, please, and let them see the amount of money that you're losing.
I think it's great. I mean, just I think you're right. I think the buyers of those fans or whatever the light bulbs, whatever the bid is,
Yeah,
they'll go and work their sections, and they'll just
yeah,
be like, "This is not on modular.
yeah. What do
The hell?
I didn't approve
These
this.
these things are all
Yeah.
wrong. What are you
Well,
doing?"
it's so for obvious reasons. Yes, learn the business, but I
Right.
also think, and this could be me, but I also think this is going to instill pride in that person doing their job.
100%. 100%.
Seeing because they walk into a store, you know damn well the people in corporate from Home Depot, Lowe's, these big retail giants walk in to say, "Yeah, I made that purchase.
That's
That's
right.
my stuff right there." Now they're going to
I
work
did
with
that.
it, and I think that ultimately helps
I
the
think it's
company.
genius. If you want to learn more about stories on Forbes, so Forbes.com, but I think every retailer, especially a large box retailer, should look at
Do
this
the same.
policy and go,
Yeah,
yes, we're going to go
yeah,
ahead and copy that. So good for them.
I love it. All right, I've got one here that I think is amazing. So,
All
Mr.
right.
Beast, we talked about Mr. Beast
I know.
a little bit ago, right?
Yep. Couple
He did
weeks.
they had a hiring guide. Well, I don't know. It was a leaked memo or letter. It was,
Yep.
but you
On
dubbed it
how to
like
hire Gen
how to
Z.
hire Gen Z, right? And so, yeah, now his company has acquired a company called Vouch, which is a content creator job board.
Oh, interesting.
Genius. I think this is
Eh,
absolute genius. So I look at this and I think, this is his world. He is the
oh,
king
yeah.
of this world. Any content creator or creative talent that wants to be Mr. Beast, that just wants to get that much, or half a
Oh, yeah.
percent of what he's built, is going to feel almost obligated to
Wasn't he
get
worth like
onto
700 million?
something 750
It
or something. Yeah.
it
Like
was,
he
it
has
was a
built
crazy number.
an empire. Yeah. And so these content creators, they're going to want to be here. Like this is it. This is a thing. I don't think this is something, oh, he acquired a job board for creatives. It's another.
Mm-mm.
No,
No.
just him acquiring this is going to drive tens of
Dude, it's going
thousands
to
of
be
creatives.
it's he's going to be on YouTube just talking about it, just talking. I mean, the
Yeah.
Gen Z thing that we reported on a couple of weeks ago is a playbook on how to recruit and retain Gen Z.
It
So
all
like
makes sense now.
it was now it does. It
He is
does.
going to be on the stage keynoting at HR Tech or Unleash or one of these
Y-
shows very soon
It'd be very smart of Transform or Sherm or
to
any
get
like
him
they
in.
said to get
Yeah.
him to speak. I don't
Yeah.
know if they could afford him, quite
I
frankly.
would say this will be the first time a vendor gets paid to speak
Yes,
because
yes,
he's
but they wouldn't
technically
think
now
of
a
him as
vendor.
but they wouldn't think of him as a vendor
No, but it would
because he's
be
such a
pretty
personality.
funny. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, I think this is an amazing play. I
yeah,
think
I like it.
yeah, this is one I want to watch. I think this changes
Oh yeah,
hiring in the creative space once they get moving. So,
Indeed should immediately purchase him.
oh, welcome to the space, Mr. Beast.
Welcome to the space. Didn't he have candy bars too?
He does, yeah,
What are they
he
called?
does. Is it Mr. Beast? I don't know. I've seen him. I kind of feel like a lot of that stuff is gimmicky. Like, let's just put it out and see what we
Yeah,
can.
let's
It's a
see.
money grab, right? It's a money
It's a
grab.
bit. I think they're called D's nuts, actually.
D's nuts or something. Yeah, I mean, look, this guy
He can
knows what he's
he
doing.
can get away with that shit.
He can get away with
All right,
anything
let me
right
pitch
now.
you this story. According to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, the
Uh-huh.
decline in productivity as a result of depression and anxiety in the workplace costs the global economy $1 trillion, and Americans
Hmm.
one basically 200 billion. It's 192.3, but like, seriously,
Mm-hmm.
what's 17 billion? So in lost earnings a year, you can find this study. It's on NAMI, National Alliance of Mental Illness.org, and it tells you all
Hmm.
the mental health by the numbers. So it
That's
slices
interesting.
by industry, by state. It does all kinds of cool. So you can see the industries where mental health is well. You can see where it's not well.
Right. Right.
So if you're interested in mental illness and mental health, as I look through it, and I was looking and reading the articles and looking at the study, it's pay me now or pay me later. So if you pay me now, essentially you put benefits in place that help with mental
Right.
health. Okay, so that people are productive. So you don't lose as much productivity. Or you pay later in lost productivity.
Mm-hmm.
So as an employer, you're paying one way or another, whether or not you do
Yeah.
something or you don't do something.
This is where we've had so many conversations with people about this, and I think this is where we get into that kind of that split, that conversation where it's like this is a business decision,
Hmm.
right? You don't have to care. You really don't need
Nope.
to care.
Nope.
You're a business, you're in it to make money. I get it. This is your decision, right? Like, provide these benefits for people. One, they stay. Two, they're going to seek you out because people need these benefits. And three,
Right.
you're going to make money off of it, right? Like, now that aside,
Right.
a lot of companies feel like it's not really our place. Like, we're going to offer, here's our benefits package that we have, take it or leave it. It's not our
Mm.
space to pamper and to customize and to do this.
Well,
Those are going to lose. I get it.
if the argument was, hey, you know what, we're not gonna care necessarily about
Right.
your mental health. What we're gonna do is pay you more.
Hmm.
And if you want to invest money in mental health therapy, etc., then you make that decision. Now
Right.
that would be a very interesting argument
Yeah.
and kind of a discussion of saying, you know what, we're not going to make the investment. We're going to make the
Yeah.
investment in your
And you.
salary
Right.
and total comp.
But no one,
You
not many people are going to take it and invest. They're just going to, they're so, if
they'll
people are
blow it on
so far
TVs.
behind, they're going to blow it on every, I mean, paying the electric bill too, right? I mean, like,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
so far behind like that. They should be paying more and
Agreed.
providing, right? But I get it. Can't always do that. But
Well, there you go.
yep. All right. So Indeed sues ZipRecruiter.
Okay.
I saw this. I read it a little while back. Actually, this was there was conversation or articles about this back in like the fall
Yeah.
time frame last year. But
Right.
so anyway, so Indeed filed a lawsuit against ZipRecruiter, alleging that the company used advertising and marketing campaigns to poach their customers. And I want to get this right, so I'll read it here. Uh, so Indeed made a change, essentially, um, with free job postings no longer being free. But that's not necessarily the case. There's a nuance to that. I'll get to that in a moment. But anyway, so they're saying that ZipRecruiter went and ran a campaign and said, "Hey, they got rid of their free job postings. Come over here." Okay. So following this change, Indeed alleged that ZipRecruiter emailed Indeed's employer customers to inform them that Indeed, let me just get this here, Indeed would be ending its free job post and that all job posts would require a daily budget of at least $5 per post, among
Oof.
other things, right? So
Right.
what the argument is, there was a change, but the change restricted double posting of free jobs. So companies were double dipping. They were posting the free job here and also getting it through their feed. So
Right.
they were coming to Indeed, posting the free job. Then they were getting through their ATS another free posting. So not just taking up inventory and space and all that other stuff that comes along
Actually,
with that.
it's just creates noise.
It creates noise, it's confusing candidates, and
Yeah,
ultimately Indeed looks like the bad guy for having a bunch of junk positions
right.
where candidates aren't getting responses. And so that is what the rule has changed. And so
They
they're
actually
saying that
cleaned. They actually cleaned things up. There's not a
correct.
negative to that.
No,
But
no,
in
there's not a negative to that.
ZipRecruiter took advantage of the
Yeah,
miscommunication, and so they leveraged it.
right,
I it's real simple for me. Indeed's not going to go sue somebody if there's not something there.
right. None of these companies are. None of these
No.
companies. I mean, they're not going to waste their money and their time. Now, what they're, some of the conversations back are, well, okay, well, Indeed maybe should focus on clarifying and actually creating a campaign around, or making sure it's very clear. But they did. They did, right? I mean, I didn't confuse me. It's just you're getting
Mm-mm.
two feeds. You can't double dip.
Yeah.
Um,
You
the
shouldn't
you
double dip.
shouldn't double dip. What I also thought was interesting in this is, and some of the postings are no longer there, but there's senior managers at ZipRecruiter. So higher level managers were
Ooh.
posting on this to their public feeds and saying, "Hey guys, look what happened. Come to us." And then their employees were retweeting and resharing and all
Yeah.
of that stuff.
Yeah.
And so this thing grew legs of its own, and Indeed finally just said, "Quit it."
Enough
Right?
of
Enough is
this.
enough with the lies, and now, so obviously it had an impact somewhere. But anyway, that's the lawsuit.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Ryan, let's move on to some acquisitions. You ready?
I don't have a choice, do I? Like we're there. We got to get there.
It
So let's do
was a
it.
deep pause. All right. Cineron acquires Cumulex, expanding capabilities in the security and video surveillance
Hmm.
solutions. Okay, so Cineron, think of workforce management, time and
Hmm.
attendance, things like that. Cumulex, think of video surveillance. So this is on techpoint.org. So you want to go read the story. So for me, as I read this, I'm like, first of all, cool. Acquisitions are great. Consolidation of marketplace is great.
Hmm.
But what could possibly go wrong when you have workforce management software now with video surveillance software? So what made
Hmm.
me think of is facial recognition time clocks, which there's
Hmm.
nothing wrong with that.
No,
It's
I don't
just
think so.
it's just it's just kind of a different way to think of workforce management.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, why not?
congratulations to both companies.
Use your phone to open it up with your face. Why not time clocks?
100%.
Why not whatever? That stuff doesn't bother me. I don't know. I never
No,
understood I mean, as long as the government's not surveilling me. I mean, look, if you're stealing shit and you're a murderer, yeah, okay,
you just yeah,
but
fair.
whatever.
You
Anyhow,
deserve what you get.
yeah. So Guild, remember Guild? Like,
I
I mean,
do.
obviously not remember them. I mean, like they're a
Yeah.
force, right, in the
Right.
business here. So they acquired a company called Nomadic Learning, and they're launching
Know
what they're
them as
calling
well.
a talent, and they're calling it the talent advantage. So for those that don't know, Guild's been in the industry for well, not really a long time, 2015, right? So that's 9 years, I guess it's long enough. But they're, if not the most, they are right there, neck and neck, as being one of the most dominant players in this space. Now, Nomadic has been around since 2012, so a little longer. But what's interesting here is I wasn't able to find any funding on them or anything like that. So I'm kind of feeling like maybe it's a bootstrap company all the way through. Anyhow, Guild has raised over $600 million over the years, and they've crushed it. They've just dominated. So anyhow, I like this one. Learning's
Yeah,
critical, and I mean, look, most companies are just targeting skills or just learning. So this allows them to get into the capabilities game, and this is something I think is really nice.
I think anybody that cares about skills, you've got to figure out how to deploy skills. So getting people to learn, assessing where they are, all that stuff. Okay, all that makes sense. But at one point, you've got to deploy learning and skilling. And so I think it's a great acquisition for both companies. So
Yeah.
congratulations. Alrighty, AI company TransPerfect, awkward name, acquires Paybooks Technologies. The acquisition lets Paybooks expand its global presence and benefit from extensive R&D resources. This was
Mm,
built in NYC.com. Great resource, by the way. This is a strategic acquisition. So an AI company purchases a core HR platform, and they're the goal with the goal of going global. So this is one of those, situations where
hmm
instead of the payroll platform buying an AI company, it's just the other way around.
right.
Same goal, and that's to go global with payroll.
Which payroll and being
Congratulations.
global, not a
Makes
bad
sense.
thing. Yeah. So, okay. So I've got one here. This is the company called The Best Answer, which it's actually a really cool domain. It's
That is a cool.
thebestanswer.com.
Yeah,
Kind of like that.
that's pretty nice.
Yeah. So The Best Answer acquires a company called Luna. And
Hmm.
so, first off, both companies are based in Philadelphia. So, shout out
Ah,
to those two. The best answer is in a. I didn't know either of these companies, which kind of par for the course. I feel like I know nothing in my area and everything outside of my area. Well,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is,
That's
you know,
that's typical.
yeah, yeah. So the best answer is an AI powered culture success platform. So the press release, kind of like what that sounds like, stuff with a lot of buzzword bingo. Like I couldn't get through the press release, so I just had to go off the press release and go find these
Right.
companies. It was a really poorly written press release, in my opinion. Anyhow, so one, not knowing either of the companies, one, congratulations to them, but Luna adds the ability to these guys here now for personal. For they do a couple things. So they'll add the ability for personal manuals, user
Okay.
manuals for the employee, smart dashboards for hybrid teams. So I love this. I
Okay.
think this is a smart play, really, for any company that does this. This gets them deeper into the organizations, and I think it's definitely something that's well needed. So
Congratulations. Love thebestanswer.com.
best,
That's just
yeah,
an awesome company name.
yeah. So good job on that too.
Right. We talked about HR Path a couple months ago. I
Yeah,
think it was in July.
we did. Yeah.
It's an HR consulting firm. They have
Mm.
acquired IN-RGY.
E-
Energy?
energy, energy.
In?
Yeah,
G?
energy.
An HR
You did. You
consulting.
had to read that to get that right there.
Well, I don't understand the dash.
It just
N?
it's cute. I don't know. It's
G.
cute. But I saw in real time you capturing that. That was cool.
Yeah. IN-RGY. I'm sure people spelt it out like that for him as well. So, Energy is an HR consulting firm that specializes in digital transformation.
Well,
So you can go find them on in-rgy.com, and they've got a whole announcement about the acquisition. But basically, digital transformation in HR, it'll be massive. It's been
mm,
massive for a long time, but it'll be even more massive as we inject AI and Gen AI into the function. So HR Path, they took on, I think it's $500 million in July
okay.
in funding. They're well positioned to take advantage of all that.
Yeah.
So they probably use some of that money to acquire energy.
Right.
Uh, but great acquisition. Good for them.
Nice. I think they need to send you a T-shirt now.
Energy,
That just says
I
energy.
N dash RGY. I think
Love
I
it.
heard a niner in there.
All right, let's talk some research, man. Let's
Ooh,
uh let's let's
R.
get let's get learned. All right. So the centered organization with Bettered Up. Okay, this is what the centered organization is what is what this report is called. So with Better Up. So if you I know you've heard of them, but if you haven't,
Mm-hmm.
check them out, guys. It's pretty cool. So this is actually really cool. So you can get this at betterup.com/ the centered organization. And the centered organization just has dashes between the words. Just go to BetterUp, you'll find it. This is really cool. So BetterUp updates a dashboard bi-weekly on their site, which they call the employee pulse. So they're
Oh,
pulsing, right? They're pulsing about 800 employees, maybe a little more, more than
okay.
800 employees, and updating the dashboard bi-weekly to help companies better understand how political polarization impacts workplace productivity,
Oh, interesting.
performance, and culture. This is really neat. And when you go to the site, beautifully laid out, by the way. So whoever laid it out, kudos to you. Very
Well
nice.
done.
We should get them on to talk through this because it is actually really interesting. So the goal here is to define and quantify the state of political tension in the workforce
Hmm.
and then outline leadership approaches that help the employees feel supported and productive in times of what they label as one of the things uncertainty. So one quick stat here, and then you guys just have to go to the website to check that out because it's really
Right.
difficult to explain the whole thing. The impact on a 10,000 person company in the run up to November in an election year, and potentially beyond that, of course, is estimated to be $900,000 a week. A week
Oof. It's
in
a lot of people on
productivity
Slack.
in productivity loss. This is people calling out because they don't feel well, they can't deal with the
Yeah.
anxiety. This is people arguing at work or water cooler talking at work, and now Slack, like you said. There's a lot of stats in this thing, and it updates all the time, which is cool because they're asking people, how do you feel this week? What are you doing? And it's updating those numbers every week. I'm gonna follow this thing now. I don't know how I didn't see it before, but I'm gonna follow it all the way through the
Oh yeah.
election
Well,
through
we vote
January
in
20th and see how this thing pans out.
do we vote in 20 I mean it's 3 weeks.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
So
It's
we're right around
crazy.
the corner.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. But check it out. Check it out because this is actually pretty cool. And I'm going to work to see if we can get these guys on here.
All right. Ryan, let me tell you about a study that is fascinating. What Americans would want in an AI boss by the Full Stack Academy. This
An
is found at
AI boss.
fullstackacademy.com. So the
Before you,
question was,
before
go
you,
ahead.
I haven't seen the research.
Yeah? What do
I
you
would be terrified to
got?
have an AI boss. I
I
feel
don't
like I
know.
can get around things with a human boss. Like I can
Ah,
sneak and do shit. The AI boss is gonna know I'm on a
uh-huh.
kayak somewhere.
Yeah,
Like,
because
mm,
they'd have your location.
yeah.
They'd know it, then they'd be able to search through Instagram and see you posting pictures about fish when you should be at home and
That
you know
photo
the
was time stamped.
keystrokes and all that stuff.
Oh
Exactly. No,
God.
they're gonna know shit that
Yeah. Wait, you
humans
you
clearly
you
don't know.
your keystroke, your keyboard was going crazy. Your mouse was
Yeah.
moving, but you
So let me
posted
see
a
if I get this straight.
photo.
While you pulled that bass, your keystrokes were going.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Never post.
Okay.
Never
Let's
post
talk.
about it.
Let's talk a little bit about that. All right. So, well, there goes favoritism. Here's some
Yeah.
nuggets from the research. 78% of workers feel that working for an AI manager is guaranteed to enhance their professional performance.
Hmm.
Let that sink in. Next stat. 63% of workers believe that promotions and raises by human bosses can be unfair and biased.
Huh.
60% would accept an AI boss tracking everything, but only if it resulted in an average of 34% increase in income. So if you pay me more,
34%.
yeah, a third. So if you pay me more, oh, you can look at anything. You're good. You want to look at it like we were talking about tracking? You can
Huh.
track everything. I'll give us, but just pay me more for that, which is
Yeah.
fascinating in and of itself.
What's really interesting here, God, I want to dig into it. This is too really cool
It's
on
a
this
great
week.
study, man.
Yeah. What really is neat here is 78% of the workers you said would
Hmm.
feel that working for an AI manager would guarantee to enhance performance.
Because they're not biased.
They're not
They would just
biased.
care about, hey, you could get better if you did this.
I
Okay.
see that didn't register. I immediately went to, ooh, that's
Yeah,
scary.
we went to a dark place.
We
We
went to a
always
dark
do.
place. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But that's
Now
actually really something. Like now actual goals become goals.
the bot just wants you to get better.
Get shit done.
Hey
Like
Ryan, just get
get shit
better.
done.
Just do this. Do this way.
But it'll
Have you thought
tell me
about
how
doing
to
it this way?
yeah, it'll tell me how to get better, right?
I don't have to
Like
worry
risk
about
and
Bob or
yeah.
Cindy or some other random,
Yeah.
person
See, this is
occasionally
where
giving some advice. Like,
this is
no, the bot's going
interesting.
to be giving me advice all the
Yeah, no, I like this. I like
time.
this. Yeah.
Fullstackacademy.com. So
Oh,
go
wow.
there and it's the titled is "What Americans Would Want in an AI Boss."
Yeah.
Fascinating. I just pulled three stats out. There's
I'll have to go check it.
bunch there.
See, this is like I can see this is where like a company like Whisk, for example, comes
Yeah.
into play. Like you have your AI boss. The AI
Hmm.
boss has access to Whisk, who's going to train you. Like
That's right.
just makes
Could coach you up.
oh man, I
Yeah.
want an AI
Pretty cool.
boss now.
You
That would
see,
be and
you,
not to
you just
just not to
flipped.
be yeah that quick. I'm easy. I'm easy to flip,
Yeah,
and I don't
but the
have to talk.
60% of it, you can track everything. If you pay me more, that's
Yeah,
also interesting. Separated from the other things we've talked
yeah,
about. Hey,
yeah,
I'll give up privacy. I mean,
yeah,
if you need privacy so that you can do better tracking, so you
yeah,
can feed me better data, okay, you know what? I'll give that up. Just pay me more.
yeah, yeah.
And so
Huh.
there's an acknowledgement there of
Yeah.
like privacy should cost something.
Yeah, well, it should, and then there's less humans in the mix, so the money's got to
Right,
go somewhere, right? And
right.
so, no, I like that. Hmm,
Take a look.
that is interesting. I want to get an. I wonder if we can get an AI boss for us. Just to, I bet you. Oh man, could you imagine building an AI boss and just sticking it in a company like this, small company,
Yeah.
just
Good luck.
sticking it in?
Yeah.
That would, Ryan, you didn't get your shit done today.
Yeah. Here's the
Like,
things, three things you missed. Here's three things that would make you faster or better. So
oh
if
man,
it's based on work life, if it's calibrated for work life, and it's like, hey, listen, you don't need to work 7 hours today.
oh man,
You can get
I'm gonna
these
look.
tasks. You can get into this and do it this way and be done by 4.
Huh.
Like,
I'm gonna look around.
okay.
If anyone has an AI boss that's out there, a platform, send it. I
Send
want,
a link.
I want to check this thing out. Oh, that's two good ones. I don't think I can get better than that. But all right, so
Ah,
I got one more here.
all
AI
right.
skills
Do
at
it.
work. This comes from Indeed Hiring Lab. This is the second Indeed thing today. Um,
Cool.
Indeed
Sponsor.
Hiring Lab. So AI skills at work. So this research was by Indeed Hiring Labs, obviously.
Right.
But it looks at the potential for Gen AI to replace human skills across 2,800 job related abilities. So, before everyone says, it's another survey, another research on it, we know we're going to get replaced. Not this. That's not that. So,
Right.
this is based on current state and it doesn't say when these statements of outdated skills and abilities
Right.
are going to be moved over to automation. They didn't do that. My best guess, 2035. I think we need 10 years to really kind of hone in on this. But
Yeah.
here's a short list that it finds that while AI here's a it finds as AI excels at providing theoretical knowledge. I think you probably used that term with me once. It's very theoretical. It struggles with problem solving on a
Right.
hands-on basis. We know this, right? That's why I'm giving it 10 years. Anyhow, three metrics. 68.7% of skills were rated as unlikely or very unlikely to be replaced by AI. Okay, so that I read that as well,
Yeah.
70% of the job force, so workforce, is going to be okay.
Yeah.
28.5, so 28.5% could potentially be replaced in the future with AI, and physical tasks are a major barrier, with
Right.
54% of skills that need hands-on execution not ready
That's right.
for
Your
that,
plumber's
right?
still
Which
got to run the snake.
yeah, plumbers got to run the snake. They're going to have to. Now, I could see a plumber bringing in a little thingy to go in and cut the pipe and solder the pipe and
Yeah. Yeah.
all of that stuff. They don't even solder most of these guys anymore. But yeah, no, absolutely. And it was really interesting. But it got
Well, and
me
with AI could know that the data from your location and know clay
correct.
pots, steel
Right.
pots, steel pipes, etc.
Right.
What do you have? And then be able to triage faster.
Right.
So that same plumber, yeah, they still got to run the snake, but
It's
now
faster.
they're doing it with some intelligence,
Right. You don't have
not
to
just
call
experience.
811 to dig anymore. Like
That's right. No,
it's gonna have it. Oh no, oh you can't. You got
there you go.
wires 13 inches down. Don't go.
That's right. Can't
Things
do
like
it.
that. Yeah. So anyhow, that was it.
Very
Nothing
cool.
crazy.
All right, this is the last one for research. 2024 State of Workplace Empathy by Business Solvers report on belonging and connectedness plummet
Hmm.
despise employees citing greater awareness of corporate DEIB initiatives. This is at businesssolver.com. This is their report. So we've talked through the last 20 weeks or so about, okay, this looks bad. I mean,
Hmm.
Tractor Supply and Harley Davidson. Okay, everybody's kind of cutting back. Okay, this is not going to be bad. So we kind of knew this was bad. This report actually tells us how bad it is.
Oh,
So I need you to close your eyes for a moment. You ready? That's you,
closed.
Ryan, not the audience.
Oh,
Good.
well, my eyes were
So,
closed.
all right, keep
You just
close.
made me open them now because I had to
Don't open them.
respond. I'm
Close.
closed.
87% of HR professionals say it is easier to recruit a more diverse workforce in a hybrid or remote workplace. Check. Second one, 83% of CEOs say an equitable and inclusive culture is harder to maintain in a hybrid or remote workplace. So open your eyes.
Okay, I
So,
was falling asleep for a moment.
as you should.
Yeah.
So, HR is saying, hey, it's easier if we have remote and flex and hybrid and in the office and all that stuff.
Hmm.
It's almost 90% easier to do it if we have these things. And you have almost the same amount of CEOs say, yeah, it's harder to build an equitable and inclusive culture. It's harder to maintain by having those different types of
Hmm.
workplaces.
Is that a product of in serious question? No, but I mean, is it a
Yeah.
product of the CEOs being so far disconnected from the workforce
Yes.
that they don't understand the workforce, or is this
100%.
yeah? And I get it. Their job is to make money. Get that. I understand
Yes.
that. But also, is this also a product of it's time to
Yeah.
pass the
Adapt.
baton, right?
That's
With
right.
that, but also pass the baton. Like I
Yeah.
think our CEOs in a lot of these companies have aged out, and I know that's not the right way to present that, but it's true.
No, it's not necessarily their age. It's their
Inability to
attitude.
adapt and their attitude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's it's more. It's not. It's like someone could be 65, but they can be really progressive.
right,
And the fact that
right,
we went through again, if we didn't go through COVID, everything would be completely slower in the sense
right.
of, hey, this remote workforce.
We'd
This
we still be in the office.
20 years from now, this might be
Yeah,
a thing.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, for 3 years of our life, we did that bit. Like, come on. Getting
yeah,
back to the Spotify thing at the very beginning, yeah, we trust our employees. They're not
yeah,
children.
yeah,
But it's
yeah,
just the
yeah.
juxtaposition. This report for the audience, you want to be depressed?
Read the report.
Go read that report because the stats are overwhelmingly
Yeah.
depressing.
Oh, interesting. I'm gonna maybe not.
There you go.
Maybe I won't look at that. I am gonna go read the
Are
AI
we going?
boss one.
Are Oh yeah. Are we going to funding?
We're gonna go to funding. I want to. I know none of these companies that I've put in here have funding to build an AI boss. So
I know. Yeah.
I really want
That's
that. So
coming next week.
in the next week, even up raises
Mm,
135 million in a Series D. So first off, this brings the company total funding to about 235 million. The funds are going to be used to expand operations and its AI workflow. So this is a claims intelligence company, claims
yep.
intelligence platform, which is trained on hundreds of thousands of injury cases,
Yep.
millions of medical records and medical visits to offices, and then internal legal expertise. This is a really interesting one for me. Because it's taking something that I think it's a great example of company taking something that's extremely difficult and historically required
Yeah.
90 years of schooling, right, and practice to really understand. Exaggerating, but maybe not. But here's how it's being used. So, case managers and attorneys, case preparation and negotiation preparation.
Yep.
Firms are using it for executive analytics, and attorneys are using it as a settlement repository. So,
Yep.
I love it. Congratulations to these guys, and I love tools like this. I think it's going to change that industry dramatically.
So what's you're driving? Let's say you go from where you are right now, and you go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Don't
there
ask me
might be
what
a
direction, please.
yeah, no, it doesn't matter. So you've got a couple stops along the way. What's the first billboard you see in
Oh,
every town?
injury claim.
Personal
Yeah,
injury attorney.
personal injury, car accident,
Sorry.
sue your employer, all that stuff. Hundred
Yeah.
percent.
In every town in America, it's the
Mm-hmm.
first billboard.
Yeah.
That's what you see. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what town you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Personal injury attorney. If
Yeah.
something's going to make that better, this AI workflow is going to make that better. And people that do suffer in car accidents or
Mm-hmm.
workplace accidents, etc., and it makes that more refined because it's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
You get a great lawyer, and they have great relationships,
Yeah.
with the other attorneys that you're opposing. The
Mm-hmm.
settlement can be really good.
Yeah.
You get a crappy attorney, and they don't have those relationships.
Yeah.
You get peanuts. So, like anything that can bring efficiencies
Yeah. Love it.
is welcome.
You know what? My recommendation, and this is not legal advice, pick the dirtiest, slimiest looking son of a gun on the billboard, and you should be good.
The Texas Hammer, we have one.
It's a thing. I've seen it.
All right, what else we got?
I don't know how to pronounce his name. Vism? Vism? VSIM. So they took $21.5 million to
Oof.
revolutionize robotics training. So this is a UK-based robotics company. It's a robotics simulation company, and here's why we need to know about this company. So, because this enables companies to adopt automation quickly,
Hmm.
and it's not so it's not so it, it's not training humans.
Right.
Okay.
It's training
So
robots.
it's training the robots, right? So this is training the robot. Think of automation in a warehouse, for example. So Amazon
Right.
uses robots, Ford uses robots to pick and pack or to build cars. The companies can simulate various real world scenarios, enabling the robot to learn quickly and then to follow up on that situation, make decisions on that situations in a real time environment. So
Love it.
whereas today the robot says, "Oh, there's an error. Stop, notify somebody." And then that somebody comes over and they have to then fix the issue. The robot will be able to make the decision. "Oh, we're out of stock. Order.
Right.
Here's a replacement part. I'll see, get it, replacement because it's an upgrade or whatever." And then it goes on and then notifies the person. Like there's so many things that can be done here, but that's just obviously one example. But this is something where I think in the hiring world, we saw this with car manufacturers and things like this. This is going to be the next generation, I think, for a lot of companies that we all know and love. They're now going to be training their robots to work with the human as well as
Right.
the human to work with the robot. So it's going to be an interesting,
Well,
interesting play.
if the robot is a human, then training that robot, well, you got to invest in training the robot, just like
Yeah,
we invest in training employees.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I love it.
Get used to it.
Vism.
Get used to it.
All right, building radar. The next generation software platform that automates construction industry sales workflow has raised 7. So okay, techfundingnews.com. You can learn more about building radar. It's fascinating, but let me read this to you. The platform's revenue engineering capabilities have helped over 150 companies across the construction industry, boosting sales conversion rates and driving over 2.6 billion in sales pipeline.
Mm.
Over 5,000 new sales opportunities are detected for its clients daily, and almost 700 assessed, customized, and deployed sales processes.
Wow.
So, mind blowing because this is AI. This is a company that's basically using AI to help find prospects and
Wow.
then tailor your sales efforts to those prospects. They're doing it in the
Yeah.
construction industry, but come on now.
This can be
Eh,
used anywhere. Yeah.
It can be used
So this is
anywhere.
like finding bidding opportunities or
That's right.
government contracts, local
That's right.
government contracts that you generally wouldn't hear about, demolition projects and
And they're
putting
already doing
people
it.
in cement. Yeah,
And they're already doing it.
I
And
love
then
that.
it's running when you're asleep. It's finding those opportunities for you.
Yeah,
And oh, by the way, it's even getting to the point where it's deploying
right,
the RFP, it's deploying the
right.
reach out.
Yeah. I wonder if they have to, if they're deploying an RFP, this was generated by AI,
Right.
something like that, because that would be kind of scary. You know,
Yeah, does the whole thing.
yeah, it does the whole thing, and it's maybe not the right answer, maybe maybe not. But I like the idea because a lot construction specifically. I
Yeah.
know a few people who have construction companies, and they're not they're small, but they're still 50 to 100 employees, right?
Yeah,
And
and it's a lot of who you know
it's a
type
lot of
of,
who you know.
yeah,
Exactly. You don't get a township contract, which can be very profitable. You don't get the contract unless you know the person.
right.
So yeah, awesome. Love it. All right. I've got one more. This is
Okay.
Maven Clinic. So
Okay.
Maven Clinic raised 125 million in a Series F round. So Maven Clinic is a company where they work on programs for care programs across fertility, pregnancy, family health services, obviously mainly for women. Um, but here's the bottom line: the investment aligns with HR focus on employee-centric healthcare strategies. It is incredibly important for this type of benefit inside of the workplace, historically not put at the top of the list. And so
Agreed.
this company is on a mission to get there. And they've done a lot of great things in the industry. If you go and read about them, they do a lot in the industry. This isn't just a business. Well, it is, but it's not just a business for them. So it's really
It's a
interesting. Congratulations to everybody involved
great,
there.
great, I mean, a great benefit.
Yeah,
Just a side note, fertility, for those that are listening, fertility is not a male or female issue.
right.
It's a couples issue. So I've had in my past, I've had a lot of guys, I'll just pick on men because
Hmm.
it's easy. That will basically say, well, she can't conceive. It's like,
Mm,
actually,
yeah,
you might want
yeah,
to A, not say that ever
yeah,
again publicly.
yeah,
It's more of a team thing. So if, when you get to
yeah.
fertility, that's not just a benefit for women, that's a benefit for a couple.
For a couple, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's all we have today. So
Ryan, are we done with the barfing?
we
Have we
are,
barfed?
we are done. We are done. We are done.
That's insane.
Did the Cowboys win yet? Are they playing yet?
No,
Or what time you
no,
guys
no.
playing?
Let's not look. I don't want to
So
be depressed.
yeah, yeah. All right, man. This has been fantastic. So if you're still listening, watching, please like, subscribe, give us a rating. We love getting rated. If it's good, if it's bad, don't tell me I'm bad,
Yeah, don't
please.
do that.
Tell him
Yeah,
he's bad, not me. I'm good.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Anyhow, till next time.